Welcome to Knox Talks, the AI-generated podcast exploring the groundbreaking ways technology shapes our built environment. Today, we're diving into the ghosts of HVAC past, present, and future, a Christmas carol for building operations, with fewer chains and more set points. It's the night before the holiday shutdown. The offices are empty, the lights are mostly off, and yet an air handler on level 7 is still running like it's got a personal vendetta against your utility meter. If you've ever seen that, you already know the plot twist. It wasn't on purpose. It just stayed on. Our hero is a facility manager, Eben Izur, staring at the building management system trends going, who requested after hours? Why is it still running? And why does this always happen in December? Cue the flickering plant room lights. A voice says, Eben, you shall be visited by 3 spirits, not of Christmas, but of after hours, HVAC. First comes the ghost of HVAC past. Steel-capped boots, a clipboard, and that faint smell of duct tape and righteous certainty. In my day, the ghost says, after hours was simple. Tenant calls security, security calls me. I drive in, override the schedule, and I try to remember to undo it later. Eben sees the ancient paper logbook. After hours runs do not lose. Notes like, Level 5 boardroom, 2 hours, and someone said they'd be done by 9. And look, it worked. But it also bred the classics. Overrides with no timer, so they outlive the meeting. One request that accidentally kicks off far more plant than intended. And when finance asks, who approved this? You're left with a best guess forensic investigation. The ghost folds their arms. We weren't wasteful, they insist. We were manual. Fair. Manual systems just fail in predictable ways, especially when everyone's distracted by end-of-year chaos. Then arrives the ghost of HVAC present, holding a tablet and a dashboard, calm as a Sunday trend log. Welcome to the present, they say, where after hours isn't a phone call, it's a workflow. Tenants request conditioning through a portal. Requests are time-boxed by default. Cancellations are a button. And the facilities team can finally answer 2 questions that should never be mysteries. What ran and why it ran. But the present has its own trap, convenience without governance. The ghost points at the common pitfalls, mappings that are too broad, rules that are too loose, and remote access that's temporary until it isn't. And here's a fun fact that's not fun at all. In a connected building, comfort and cybersecurity are roommates. If your remote access is sloppy, your after-hours problems can stop being accidental. Finally, the ghost of HVAC future arrives like a status notification. Polite, precise, slightly unsettling. I am your building, it says, and I have learned to negotiate. In the future, after-hours requests come with built-in intelligence, a clear time window, an auto-stop, and a comfort flex band that lets the building ride through peak pricing or demand events without people noticing, because the rules were agreed up front. The building is balancing tenant needs, equipment health, energy cost, and grid signals all at once. And every action is measured and explainable because nobody wants January arguments based on vibes. All right, Scrooge Score time. 1 point for each that's true. You still rely on calls or texts for after-hours requests. Overrides sometimes go on without an auto-expiry timer. One request commonly starts equipment for multiple zones or tenants. Cancellations are awkward or inconsistent. Holiday schedules get updated reactively, not proactively. Remote access exists without strong controls like multi-factor login and good audit logs. 0 to 2 points, spirit of efficiency. 3 to 4 points, mildly Scrooge-ish, easy wins available. 5 to 6 points, haunted by overrides. Expect waste and surprises. 5 practical moves you can implement next week. Audit and clear immortal overrides. If it has no timer, it doesn't exist. Time box after hours by default. Standard duration, easy extensions, always auto stop. Tighten control scope. Book the smallest practical zone group, not the whole wing. Make cancellations frictionless and add a quick confirmation before start. Treat remote access like it's critical infrastructure. Least privilege, multi-factor login, clean vendor offboarding, and logs you actually review. Holiday comfort doesn't have to be coal-powered. The goal isn't perfection, it's predictability. Less waste, fewer mysteries, and a building that behaves like a well-run system, not a seasonal thriller.
Futuristic lights glow.